Okay, so let's send a challenge.
Here is challenging. Nice graphics, easy to see. What are you thinking about? You're looking how it can be the most painful?
Exactly. Okay, fine.
So that I give him up a phone. He wants to be even rude.
Hi everyone, welcome to our new video series. My name is Gustafsson and I'm thrilled to be reunited with fellow Magnus Carlsen's trainers, seconds, Peter Heine Nielsen, Magnus Carlsen's head coach, and Laurent Fressinet, Magnus Carlsen's French coach, are both here, and we will be going through the World Championship match 2021. Our experiences with it, the games, what we prepared, where we felt things went well, where we felt things didn't go well. Peter, we have different perspectives because we were in different locations.
Very much. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about it because you were in Thailand during all the match and I was in Dubai with Magnus and his non-chess team. So I see some kind of debriefing where we will discuss what was the mood in Dubai, what was happening in the technical department in Thailand, and we got to sort of basically compare notes and get the two kind of inside looks from the match.
Very much so. And Laurent, we are actually in your private home. Thanks for having us.
It's a big pleasure to welcome both of you, and I'm sure it will be interesting to talk to you guys about the match.
Likewise.
So we hope you guys enjoy the series with our behind the scenes insights. See you then.
E5, it's E5 Patzers.
A complete repertoire against 1E4 based on 1E5, now available to study with Chessable's unique Move Trainer technology. The backbone is the Marshall Gambit against the Spanish, with 3 Knight F6 against the Italian. Jan Gustafsson has revisited all these lines he has played for 20 years and worked on as a second for Peter Lecko and Magnus Carlsen, amongst others, with the help of the most powerful engines out there, Leela 0 and Stockfish 10. This has led to many new discoveries and a repertoire ready to master on Chessable that can serve the student for a long chess career.
Maybe E4 doesn't exist after all.
E5, it's E5 Patzers.
When I saw her for the first time, it was love at first sight. I love how rich and complex she is, how sharp and principled her first steps, how graceful her movement. Paris is a city of love. I've come to find my love for the French defense.
Hi, I'm Grandmaster Judith Polgar, and I'm here to welcome you in the Chessable classroom. It combines a shared chessboard with live video. Teachers get to interact on the chessboard with their students and even run quizzes and tournaments. I really love what Chessable Classroom can offer. I use it myself all the time. Just invite students to your classroom and start teaching right there. No downloads needed, and it's for free.
It's time to take control of your journey towards chess mastery. Magnus Carlsen introduces Chessable, the definitive solution for studying chess. Move Trainer uses the science of spaced repetition to identify your strengths and eliminate your weaknesses. There's no need to set up a board, remember which page you're on, or keep track of all the moves you miss. Move Trainer empowers you to go from the opening to the end game with confidence. It's a seamless, effective, and fun way to study chess. Choose from one of the largest online chess libraries in the world, with hundreds of titles ranging from classic books through to our exclusive Chessable courses, including over 100 free courses. Get expert insights from International Master John Bartholomew, Grandmaster Sam Shankland, International Master Christoph Sulecki, Grandmaster Simon Williams, World Champion Magnus Carlsen, and hundreds of other instructors. Get started now and join our growing community of over 100,000 chess enthusiasts at chessable.com. Chessable, take control of your journey towards chess.
All right, welcome to the excitement that is today's game number 2 of the FIDE Grand Prix finals between Hikaru Nakamura and Wesley. So they played a quick draw yesterday, and we don't have any indicators that things will be different today, do we, Peter?
Not really, no. It's smelt season in St. Petersburg, so I helped myself to a helping of that with a bottle of stout earlier, in the expectation that a relaxed kind of a informal atmosphere is very fitting to today's stream.
It will be an informal 30 minutes if we're lucky. What's stout?
Dark beer.
Day drinking. What's going on with you?
Preparing for work.
No further questions. So the situation in this tournament, as we know, is Nakamura already qualified for the candidates, as did Richard Rapport. Therefore, while there is money and prestige at stake, it's understandable that players are no longer that motivated to put in the hours here in this final. Everything points towards 2 quick draws and then a rapid tie break tomorrow, where they, of course, will play and we will get a winner. But I'd be absolutely stunned if today anything other than a reasonably quick draw.
Yeah, Hikaru also has an important appointment later today. He qualified, as is his wont, while playing important classical tournaments. He played in the Swiss portion of the Rapid Chess Championships and will be playing in the finals today, so can't really risk the game running too long.
Wesley, with this information, just take your time.
Yeah,
see how important that one is.
You could get some trolling in, I assume, but I don't think Wesley is in the mood for that particularly.
It's not how he does it. What time does the other thingy start?
It's actually not that soon. I think with this time control, it has to be a really long game for it to be in much danger.
Oh, that makes it less exciting. So what will we get? Will we get good old Berlin Queen D4, Queen E4? Like why pretend today?
Yeah, I mean Hikaru going 1e4 is he does that, and I've already gotten things horribly wrong as regards to his opening repertoire yesterday. I might as well keep the streak running, but 1e4 is a bit of an indication that the Queen E4, Queen D4 thing is kind of on the menu today.
Wouldn't rule it out.
We'll see, yeah. And
Wesley, are we taking the let's think 5 minutes about my move so the game lasts longer than 10 minutes on move 1 already? Tough decision, 1e4?
Yeah, very, very unusual choice by Hikaru, a move that Wesley has not seen too much in his career.
Oh, he did find e5. It's a good move. You occupy the center, you stop this pawn from advancing, control the d4 squares,
and the
f4 squares. You open up your bishop. It's a pretty good move. White typically goes knight f3 here, hitting the e5 pawn, also controlling the center, and it gets so much closer to castles once this bishop moves out. You're already very close to castling kingside.
Not close enough, I feel. Although, hang on a second, the white will get to castle, yeah?
I would think so.
Yeah.
So black has a choice here. The knight could go to c6 to defend the pawn, or you could counterattack with knight to f6 to tackle the e4 pawn. Those are the two main moves at the highest level. Wesley goes for the move knight to c6. Now white chooses typically between bishop c4 and bishop b5. Nakamura plays bishop b5, the Ruy Lopez, or the Spanish opening, as it's also often called. Not necessarily with the intention to take on c6 directly. More often than not, after a6, his bishop would go here. But white keeps his options open. He's saying, I might one day threaten to take here, and I just want a castle, and in an ideal world, go rook e1, c3, d4, occupy the center.
Absolutely. And now, multitude of options for Wesley, but only one of them.
But only knight f6 will be played.
Yeah, only one of them does the job efficiently enough for today, which is knight g8 f6, which we confidently expect to happen. Chess24 chat is saying, Hikaru 4d4, please. I'm out of smelt, but I will definitely eat an item of clothing if knight f6 is met by 4d3.
d3 or d4?
d3.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Knight to f6. The Berlin defense will be played. Very logical move, obviously, attacking the e4 pawn, also getting closer to castling. After which white would have a choice between covering this pawn with 4d3, leading to a longer game, and it's a bit of a fighting choice. d3 does have the drawback that it gives up the option of putting this pawn on d4 in one go. Therefore, after knight f6, which now has been played, the main move is short castles still. However, this leads to some very direct lines, starting with knight takes e4, that are well researched and are considered to be holding up at the highest level. Therefore, it's often chosen when both sides, especially, are looking for a quieter game, which seems to be on the agenda today. So I would bet quite a bit on short castles being played here.
The pause is giving me pause here. I'm mentally preparing to research how to, marinate a handkerchief. Handkerchief is not really an item of clothing. I'm trying to bail out here, but Yeah, he should castle, just for, sort of for my sanity, which is highly prized in the chess world.
But you are mentally prepared to marinate a handkerchief, even though a handkerchief is not an item of clothing.
Nothing says sanity just as much as a person starting to marinate a handkerchief 3 moves into the chess game.
It's also important to think for a couple of minutes here when everybody in the world knows this position was going to be on the board and that short castles is the move that will be played here. You need to consider it a bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In the meantime, congratulations to the Australian women who won the Women's World Cup very, very convincingly. 2 of the 3 highest scores in the World Cup finals were made tonight.
Are you starting to talk about cricket? I'm assuming there's cricket like 5 minutes into the show. Short castles played.
We only have potentially 5 more minutes to go, so.
He did castle. Now the main move is knight takes e4, which I would, give significant odds on any other move happening here. Knight takes e4 will be played after obviously carefully weighing the consequences by Wesley for 2 or 3 minutes. And then in that position, white usually chooses between pawn to d4 or rook to e1. Rook to e1 is a way to get a very symmetrical pawn structure after knight d6, knight takes e5, the main line goes something like this, whatever. There are other options. And these positions white can play for a win if he is feeling like it, because the black knight on d6 is still somewhat awkward, but with a symmetrical pawn structure. Of course, it's a very safe choice. I would assume today you get the even, quote unquote, safer choice, which would be knight takes e4, d4, knight d6. And for example, this is a well-established way to get the game over with quickly, which both sides might or might not have played 10 to 30 times with either color already in the Champions Chess Tour.
Yeah.
If they feel like this is too embarrassing, then I would expect some of these and swapping down, which are also common. Usually if Magnus with white wants to draw, he goes for this. The main line, of course, here, or the old main line, maybe we should say, is going for this end game, which both sides have tremendous experience with either color as well, but that's very unlikely to happen today, if you ask.
It doesn't seem like that's happening. Yeah,
we gotta give credit to Wesley for not rushing here. It really is very important and makes the game, it feels much more like a fight when they think about castles and knight takes e4 for a bit.
Absolutely. It's
a
risky.
They just splits out the moves. It feels like, okay, so they're just making a quick grandmaster draw. But if you think about these moves for a while, then okay, they consider it carefully.
Yeah. Opening up the e-file, there's a king on e8 and white has already castled, so it's a risky move and you have to, weigh the consequences.
He did take it. Took him a while, but in the end he decided it's okay. He probably calculated this line d4, knight d6, and now this looks like it's losing a piece after knight takes b5, but you can regain the piece with a4. The knight has nowhere to go.
And this
practice has shown.
Yeah, I was going to say this now looks like it loses a pawn after d7, d6, but that actually is quite risky.
Yeah, practice has shown these things are not so simple. Therefore, maybe Wesley already during his short break calculated this entire line. That'd be impressive.
That would be very impressive.
Hikaru, obviously, this is a tough decision to make if he wants to go rook to e1 or pawn to d4. And clearly, you also want to give the spectators on site a bit of spectacle. He's weighing his options here.
What's the weather like in Germany? I remember your intrepid report from the site featured many mention of it being nice outside and it very much increasing your enjoyment of the day at the Grand Prix. What's it like today for the viewers who actually...
I would have to go check. Today, I've had the following 3 or 4 weather situations. As usual, my vocabulary is letting me down. 1 second. So today, I've had sunshine.
Okay.
I've had rain. I've had snow. And I've had the word I'm missing, I guess it's hail.
All of that already happened in Hamburg by 3.
All of these already happened in Hamburg by 3, between 10 and 3, while I monitored the weather situation closely. But right now, I'm not sure. It could be any one of those. Pawn to d4 plate. This is a bold choice by Nakamura. If black would carelessly take this pawn, he would get pinned, rook to e1, d5, knight takes d4, another pin. And once black parries that, then this pin starts to materialize with pawn to f3, gaining a piece. He must have spotted all these things. But black typically avoids that trap, doesn't go e takes d4, but removes the knight, which looks like a very funny move, but we've already seen it. The point is to gain a tempo by attacking this bishop. And the bishop can now either take here, be defended with pawn to a4, or
bishop
go
A4.
here.
Yeah,
but as we've covered, there is this tactical option to play d takes e5 here. And given to the enormous wealth of experience both have with this tactical option, I would not rule it out at all.
No, none whatsoever. Not whatsoever, I will be hard-pressed to say, but there is none whatsoever of that.
Wesley, of course, weighing his options here. He's probably still calculating this e takes d4. And also the move bishop e7, a favorite of Malakhov. But I would not expect it today, to put it very, very well.
Yeah, I actually had to prepare for Malakhov at some point at the height of his Rio de Janeiro playing years. It's way better than it looks, weirdly.
It's way better than it looks, but black is still worse.
Yeah, it doesn't equalize, but like it looks like it should be absolutely unplayable, and it isn't somehow. And because I guess bishops are stronger than knights, and yeah, the position we're talking about is, yeah, I think it's actually queen e2, right? Because after rook e1, you can go to f5. Yeah, I think it's queen e2, and then now dc6 kind of loses, so you have to go bc6 and you go knight b7. And yeah, you look at this position and you think, why on earth would that be even remotely playable? But if you study it and if you're prepared to suffer a little bit, as Vladimir Malakhov in general on the black side of things, he generally doesn't mind being slightly worse out of the opening. Yeah, this is quite okay. It's not really all that bad at all.
Hell would freeze over before Wesley would play bishop e7 here, but it's good. It's good he's considering it. Yeah, I'm a bit curious what they think they're adding by thinking for a couple minutes about every move here, but we all know what's going on.
Yeah, in particular after d4, yeah, the likelihood of specifically queen d4 by this point is like in the very, very high double digits, because after rook e1 there's a number of ways to have a quiet game without really.
No, d4 happening wasn't 100% because they might feel, yeah, this move repetition queen e4 is a bit stupid, and there's really nothing stopping you from blitzing out whatever sequence you want to blitz out here, and then get it done with. But something like this we've seen plenty.
Yeah, there's this favorite draw that Magnus seems to go for in this line, where everything disappears and it's a pawn ending by move 25 somehow. I never quite remember the move order, but yeah, they're very, very efficient at getting all the pieces off the board by move 20 there. But yeah, d4 is a very heavy indicator of.
I would love to have video feed from on site now, like Wesley sitting there in deep thought, maybe pointing at like ed4, but then I get pinned. That'd be interesting to see. I'm not sure if he's had this position before in more than 1,000 games. Probably has.
Yeah. Grandpa David in Chess24 chat says, how is Ding doing in the quest? The quest is The first part of the quest is done. He scored 10.5 out of 12 by winning every single micro match against his 3 other rivals, 3.5 half basically.
My real question is though, was there a decisive game between his 3 rivals? No. They fought hard, but all the games ended in draws.
Absolutely.
Chess world is fun these days, isn't it?
It is
so much action.
It is very fun, yes. So now he plays a 6-game match against Wei Yi, and that I think covers his requirements for getting removed off of inactive list and back onto the active list where he belongs. And yeah, we might kind of be slightly, derogatory about the goings on, but
what do you mean?
Yeah,
just to be clear, it's more and more fun to make fun of the game that's running now, but it's fairly understandable from the players. The hard work is done. Hikaru did amazing, qualify for the candidates. Yeah, for Wesley, he probably feels. And there's not that much for him to gain by playing 2 long tournament games here instead of moving it to the Rapids. So with the candidates qualification out of the way, it's very understandable they're doing this. You could debate if it's necessary to fake think here for 5 minutes and then play 96 or not, but it's not really.
Yeah,
and no real criticism. We're just
there's a long message in the Twitch chat regarding the tournament that just finished with Ding playing, and the fake GMs you are referring to WV223 are like all 2590. So yeah, you gotta wonder just what the threshold is for you to stop calling people fake GMs.
No, those are real GMs. Like there is a bit of a taste with the games between them all ending in draws. Other than that, yeah, Ding needed 30 games to be eligible to play, and I'm not sure it was his decision to organize it like that and have this tournament like that. Sorry, I'm interrupting you guys.
No. It's just that I wanted to address that point that yes, I mean, with the results being all nicely wrapped up and not a single game between the other 3 ending in the result is, I understand people being somewhat skeptical, but it's specifically the phrase "fake GM" applied to basically 2,600 players that kind of got my goat a little bit there.
Yeah, I don't feel strongly about defending that tournament, but obviously those are all strong players. It's just the circumstances that are strange.
And I'm pretty sure he would actually play, like, if the calendar in 2022 wasn't what it is, I'm pretty sure he would very happily just, go to Europe and play some tournaments, which would have given him the exact amount of activity required. But there's just not very much stuff running, and he also clearly has issues traveling. So, given that he had to get all the games in a very, very short period of time, the fact that the Chinese Federation is interested in getting him a chance to play in the candidates is also very understandable. He's a very strong player. Yeah,
I'm still confused why he couldn't go to Berlin, but can apparently go to Madrid, but I'm sure there are reasons.
Well, yeah, all of that is kind of, I'm sure some FIDE officials somewhere have a more clear view of that situation, but I also understand why they don't particularly want to comment.
Yeah, it's all been weird. Wesley, appreciate you giving us some thinking time, but how long do you want to think about going 96 here? Like, oh, there we come. 96, excellent move. Removes the knight from e4, from the e file where it could have been a target, and targets this bishop. Now Hikaru, it's Hikaru's turn to weigh the consequences of bishop takes c6 or d takes e5. I would guess, having gotten to this exact position, d takes e5 under the circumstances is a heavy favorite, and I would also not be shell-shocked, let's say, if this was the very game. However, they did not play this game yesterday, which they could have done as well. So maybe they have something else in store.
I think they sort of perhaps left the best for last, right? So they didn't want to play 2 of these because that would be a sensory overload for all the viewers at home.
But you could also do it like in the Champions Chess Tour, where you play one of the Grunfeld draws and then one of the Berlin draws. Right?
Yeah.
They're analyzing how quickly the opponent plays the theoretical moves, trying to find a suggestion of variance from theory in the near future. That's exactly what they're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I should save that. I'm going to. Hang on a second, because I think this is at least the beginning of a very good pasta I might be using in the future.
I'm not sure. Am I? What's going on?
I liked that explanation so much that I preserved it for future use. Sometimes you come across something on the internet which is so perfect that you just know that you have to save it in your images folder so that you can access it.
Those images folders are precious, aren't they? Like the millions of screenshots I've taken from the internet over the years. You need them every day, and they're so well organized that you instantly find. Should you ever need one of these screenshots, you instantly find it back.
I will say that
Very useful thing to do.
I have folders inside folders, so things I actually do save. They are somewhat better organized than you might suspect, and generally are findable. But I do relate to what you're saying very deeply.
Yeah, folders upon folders. It's pity the players don't seem to have notes on this position, which has been fairly popular at top level chess. It's their main repertoire with either color, but they seem to have forgotten it all. And probably Hikaru will find this piece sacrifice, but then since he has to figure out all over the board, it might not be enough to generate any pressure. This is the main line, the Berlin endgame, popularized. It was around before, but popularized by Vladimir Kramnik in the year 2000, the distant future, by using it to pretty much neutralize Garry Kasparov's 1e4 in their London World Championship match, which Kramnik went on to win.
The Spanish is dead. I poked it. It was dead.
Not familiar with the reference. 96. So takes. The knight has to go away. Knight e4 would be a nice square for the endgame, but unfortunately now the queens don't get traded, and white goes queen e2 here. When this knight is a little shaky, rook d1 is coming. While after knight to f5, usually white exchanges the queens. Caruana has recently experimented with the move queen to e2 here as well, intending to play a quick rook to d1, but that was more of a one-off. I would assume these positions are supposed to be fine for black if they know what they're doing.
Yeah. I was very surprised when this even got a single airing. It has always been considered to be completely dead, but people will try anything once not to play the mainland Berlin.
No, this is not in my e5 course. My e5 course gives a6, which is a pretty good move, but it's much harder to find as nice a sequence. It's still a decent move, though, like Magnus used it in the last World Championship match. Although, yeah, the Berlin, I guess you could argue it makes it harder for white to get a chess game, but it also makes it more or less impossible for black to get a chess game if white doesn't want one. So it has pros and cons.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's spoiling the bit, but I do want to set the record straight that Jan was the person who introduced me to Flight of the Conchords, I'm pretty sure, so.
Yes, affirmative.
So yeah. No need to try to educate him on this topic. He is pretty well educated.
No binary solo.
Yeah.
Hikaru, d5, that's a risky decision. Your bishop is hanging. You really want to do that? Might as well exchange it for the horsey first.
Yeah, it looks like they're very much following their yesterday's pattern of giving us these somewhat inexplicable pauses in positions they have definitely seen before. But
no, if I had ever been in the situation, which obviously I have never been in, that you might know beforehand how the game will end and what the moves will be, then I might have felt that you don't want to make the moves all instantly and sign the score sheet after 2 minutes. So in this very hypothetical situation, you would maybe have taken some time per move. I'm wondering though, like, would I have done it in a position that everyone has seen millions of times?
And
Hikaru apparently in deep thought.
Yeah, I actually got the picture from an unnamed but very trusted source of Hikaru. Absolutely, you know.
Well, we're here talking smack. He's just calculating. So what's he thinking about? This endgame, like, it's complicated. First side looks better for white, because let's not forget, white has a 4-3 pawn majority on the king side, which is more mobile than the black pawn majority due to the double pawn on the king side here. It's impossible in terms of pawn structure for black to build a passed pawn there. And also black can no longer castle. However, black's position has turned out to be extremely sturdy, partly because of the bishop pair, but mainly really because the light square bishop is superior to a knight. So often, even if these bishops disappear from the board, the black position is still very much all right. Practice also shown that black has a multitude of different plans here, like name a plan that's probably been played, king to e8 followed by h5 to secure the knight, reshuffling the knight, knight e7, knight g6, pawn to h6 to cover this square, bishop d7 intending to put the king on c8, pawn to b6 intending to play bishop b7, putting the king here. All of these things have been debated heavily and tend to work pretty all right. Therefore, it's a lot of choices to make, and Hikaru decides today he doesn't want this and bravely decides to sacrifice the bishop, as he has done in at least 20. I would have to count, but I would guess he's had this position at least 20 times from either side. Knight takes b5, pawn to a4. And now I think they're done with the thinking, and the game that I might have indicated earlier will now unfold at faster speed.
Yeah, and there was a question earlier from Bunny Hopper. Why are they resident slippering? Are they both qualified? And I assume if Bunny doesn't know, there are more people in chat who might not know. Hikaru has qualified for the candidates, and Wesley has no chance of qualifying for the candidates. So there really isn't very much at stake as regards the sort of the broader picture of the Grand Prix. They're only playing for money and prestige here, and
clearly a tough decision for both of them to go for this line. I mean, they clearly wrestled with it, but here we are. I hope the spectators in Berlin on this sunny Sunday did enjoy the action. But yeah, we all knew this was going to happen, and the talk before the show was more or less, if today is going to be a 15-minute show or a 30-minute show, and we got to almost 30, so what's not to like?
Absolutely, yeah. We just sort of we ran the. Actually, that's not true. Even yesterday's prediction was way too conservative for today, but there we go. We're done with the classical portion. We were perhaps, more scathing today than we needed to be, but kind of felt fitting to.
Yeah, as mentioned, this was going to happen, and it's very understandable from both players. Doesn't take anything away from Hikaru's amazing performance in this tournament. But if it happens, might as well make some fun of it.
Yeah, Dr. Do You Even Lift says, make them play rapid right now? ? I'm actually not against, but not going to happen. Yeah.
Hikaru has stuff to do. He has other rapid to play today.
Yeah, exactly. He can't. This he actually can't do. Yeah, because there's that thing in the evening that he can't miss. Yeah, the rapid and potentially the blitz portion tomorrow should be a lot more actually played than this. And both of them are absolutely fantastic shorter time control players. So very much do tune in for that. I'm expecting tomorrow to be a good day of chess, but today was what it was, expectedly, but still.
Yeah, what else is there to say? Tomorrow, 3 p.m., 2 rapid games. Then if the score is tied 1-1, 2 blitz games. Then Armageddon, I would guess that's the format. Other than that, thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us for this half hour. If you now have some unexpected free chess time, you might want to visit chessable.com and check out our courses on chessable.com/Peter. You find Peter Svidler's Grunfeld courses, which basically teaches you how to make as efficient draws against 1d4 as well, as we've seen today. While if you're bored of the Berlin draws, you can check my course against 1e4, which teaches you how to keep up the suspense slightly longer and then still be fine in this position and everything else as well. So check those out. Then, of course, also check out the course on the World Championship Match 2021, which I did with Laurent Fressinet and Peter Heine Nielsen, where I sit on Laurent's very small sofa, very, very awkwardly, pretending that we're in a casual atmosphere. But we also talk about Team Magnus, how the team was put together, what we prepared beforehand, what happened in the training camps, and then how we experience every single game, which we've all analyzed, and what happened behind the scenes. So I think that's a good series.
And
Go premium. Sorry.
PH is attire, the real showstopper there.
What can I say?
It is.
Yeah.
What can you say? Truth is the perfect defense to libel or some such.
Sarpos saying, so you can draw e4 with the marshal, very much so. And you get to be pawned down. Okay, here you were a piece down. That was also exciting. Anyway, go premium on Chess24 to watch that series and all the other series. They're all included, and challenge the many grandmasters in the banter blitzes. We are out for today with the code Grand Prix 2022. You can save 40% as usual. So go to chess24.com. Check that out. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. for some actual chess. Thanks for watching the show.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody.
Hi everyone, welcome to our new video series. My name is Gustafsson, and I'm thrilled to be reunited with fellow Magnus Carlsen's trainers, seconds, Peter Heine Nielsen, Magnus Carlsen's head coach, and Laurent Fressinet, Magnus Carlsen's French coach, are both here, and we will be going through the World Championship Match 2021. Our experiences with it, the games, what we prepared, where we felt things went well, where we felt things didn't go well. Peter, we have different perspectives because we were in different locations.
Very much. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about it because you were in Thailand during all the match and I was in Dubai with Magnus and his non-chess team. So I see some kind of debriefing where we will discuss what was the mood in Dubai, what was happening in the technical department in Thailand, and we got to sort of basically compare notes and get the two kind of inside looks from the match.
Very much so. And Laurent, we are actually in your private home. Thanks for having us.
It's a big pleasure to welcome both of you. And I'm sure it will be interesting to talk to you guys about the match.
Likewise.
So we hope you guys enjoy the series with our behind the scenes insights. See you then.
E5, it's E5 Patzers.
A complete repertoire against 1e4 based on 1e5, now available to study with Chessable's unique Move Trainer technology. The backbone is the Marshall Gambit against the Spanish with 3 knight f6 against the Italian. Jan Gustafsson has revisited all these lines he has played for 20 years and worked on as a second for Peter Lecco and Magnus Carlsen, amongst others, with the help of the most powerful engines out there, Leela 0 and Stockfish 10. This has led to many new discoveries and a repertoire ready to master on Chessable that can serve the student for a long chess career.
Maybe e4 doesn't exist after all.
E5, it's E5 Patzers.